All right, we're back. Very important information here because, we like to bring you new approaches to things and new innovations. And once again, we have one of those for you. Joining us now is Sarah Solomon C. She is the Director of Marketing for Casper Technologies. And first of all, I'm going to let her just tell you what Casper, I remember it like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but it's CASPR. Sarah, first of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
And what does CASPR stand for?
CASPR stands for Continuous Air and Surface Pathogen Reduction. It's a very fancy way of saying it's an ongoing elimination of germs in the air and surfaces.
Remember when COVID was roaring, and before that, we all grew up with germs. We had germs. We didn't go out and get things installed in our air conditioning units, but during COVID, when I had nurses and doctors repeatedly coming through the back door and sitting on this news set, we had dividers, we had everything going on.
That's right.
But it made us rethink things. Yep. I was one that had things put in our air conditioning units because I felt our employees, we had to be here. We couldn't go home.
Absolutely.
Everybody was thinking a little differently, weren't they?
You were actually ahead of the time with going into your HVAC unit. Yeah. That is actually what one of our premier products is, the Casper Pro, and that goes into your HVAC system. It goes right before the handler, and it splits out to every room in the house, okay? So essentially what's happening is Casper, it takes no chemicals, it's automated, it's an approach, it's a continuous, safe, automated approach to disinfection. Casper essentially takes the oxygen and the water out of your ambient air, and as it passes over our NCC cell, which is just a special light with a honeycomb matrix around it, as air moves through our cell, it's creating highly effective oxidizing molecules, which is predominantly H2O2 in a gas form. So think about in the morning when you wake up in the morning, okay, and you go into your bathroom, you want to take a nice hot shower. You turn that shower all the way on, real hot, and you're kind of walking around and you're getting things together. And as that water gets really hot, the moisture starts condensing and you start seeing those little water molecules sticking everywhere, right, on your towel, on the mirror. Well, that's what Casper is doing. As it exits your duct system, it is actively seeking out harmful pathogens that are in your environment. And whatever it doesn't land on to disinfect at a cellular level, it just reverts back to its natural state. So it's completely safe. There are no chemicals again. Maintenance on these is once every 2 years. You just change that inner cell out.
Let me ask you, H2O2. I was also one who was taking hydrogen peroxide, putting it in the bottle with water, mixing it perfectly, spraying it down the throat.
Don't do that.
I know. Well, you find a thing, but I was diluting it so much.
Absolutely.
But the hydrogen peroxide method, some people for it, some people against it, but y'all perfected it?
Well, listen, you know, Google it. It's a very effective disinfectant. At our molecules are done on a very low, steady dose of H2O2. So it's a lot more. So 1 part per million is the OSHA standard for anything that needs to be that would be hazardous for you, right? Casper is 0.01 to 0.03 parts per million. There's actually more ozone and bad stuff outside than there is inside a facility with Casper in it. Or a home. You know, it's great for homes too. A couple of the immediate benefits, I have it in my home, is odors and allergies. It's very effective against that. So in addition to killing COVID and all kinds of viruses and bacteria, there's other benefits that we face every day with just odor and mold and funguses and that sort of thing.
What genius came up with this? It amazes me sometimes that somebody actually sits down and goes, all right, all we need is this, and this, and it changes to this, and we help people live longer. Who came up with
it? It really started, NASA came up with PCO technology, okay? Photocatalytic oxidation. And Casper essentially took what NASA did and just made it better by being safer and a higher effectiveness at reducing pathogens. So you had mentioned before, after COVID, you had put something in your HVAC system. And that was probably, it's called a Remy Halo or something like that from Home Depot that you can buy, which is great, but it doesn't the effectiveness and the reductions that you're going to get from that type of kind of one size fits all technology is
So it's comparing a Volkswagen to a Lamborghini?
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yes.
I saw where you were going with it. you know?
Yes, yes.
So what you're essentially saying is Morton Falls wasted his money.
A little bit.
Of course, I was feeling it at the time. It was the only technology they had
Yeah.
flying around.
It's better than nothing. Look, it's better than nothing. You're still going to reduce pathogens at about 40% with kind of a store-bought option. But with Casper, our reductions come in at like above 90% all the time.
Wow.
Let me tell you a good home story real quick. Remember after Martin Luther King, it got real cold down here and our schools closed down for a period of time.
right.
So those 2 days that school was closed, I had to stay home. I have 3 small kids under 6. Well, my coworker has 2 small kids under 7, and we live in the same neighborhood. So we came up with the idea, well, why don't y'all come to my house? Let's work together at my kitchen table and we'll let the kids play all day. Okay, great. Well, that morning I texted her and I said, look, I have a little cold, just congested. I feel fine. They came over, sat there, worked. Kids did forts. They shared snacks. We were together all day. 2 days later, I wasn't getting any better, and my son was now sick. So we went, and we were positive for COVID. Come to find out, we were right in that really contagious period too, right? Every morning, I texted my coworker, "How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling?" A whole week, nobody got
All
COVID.
right, hold that punchline.
Yeah.
Hold that second. We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
Coming right back. I want to hear the end of the story.
All right, I'll be
so you
ready.
got to leave them hanging. For
I
a
like
second.
it, yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. And we are back in that punchline. I had to go to a break before, but Sarah Solomon C is with us. And okay, so
Every
finish
day I
the story.
texted her.
All right.
I'm like, how are y'all feeling? How's everyone doing? She'd say, oh gosh, one of us is tired. And we'd wait the next day and see, how's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Nobody got COVID. Not her kids, not herself. And there is no other explanation than the fact that I have it in my house, in my ductwork, and it is disinfecting my air and surfaces 24/7. There's no way all these little kids wouldn't have gotten COVID and given it to each other.
Right.
I mean, and I was coughing. And you know how everybody said stay 6 feet away? Totally false. Do
Yeah.
you know a cough and a sneeze goes like 25 feet?
Yeah.
And it's on the surfaces too, right? So 6 feet doesn't really work. you
Yeah.
know.
So y'all had a seminar. I guess it's a seminar or luncheon.
We did a little lunch and learn.
Yeah. And this was in Houma the other day. And that's how I got information on you all. I was
Correct.
talking to Senator Mike Fazee,
Yeah.
and he was telling me about this luncheon they were having. I said, well, Mike, I can't make it today. We were heading to Thibodeau for a big story. I said, but let's get them on because this intrigues me, this kind of technology. Anything that can make groups feel better and not get sick.
Get back together. You want to go back to church. You want to keep your kids in school, right? You want to be able to get together without the fear of COVID. And honestly, COVID's super easy to kill. Like I could probably blow and wipe COVID away if it was right here and it would be gone. I mean, we even kill really nasty things like C. diff and all kinds of stuff, mold spores. I mean, the list goes on and on. When you get behind a product that you know brings health and safety and wellness to a community, it's easy to do. And that's why Big Mike jumped on with us, because we want to expand in Houma. We want to offer what we've been offering to our section. We're in Mandeville in the North Shore. We have a good presence over there and in New Orleans, and we just want to keep branching out. It's a great thing we have.
So y'all do the things that go in the air conditioners. But if somebody was watching and said, well, that's interesting, but where do I get it? How do I put it in? What would you tell them?
Well, I mean, look, ductwork is how we prefer to go in, because we can properly dose any indoor space. But we also have plug-ins. Like, my kid's school has not bought it yet. But what did I do? I went and gave 2 Casper compacts, plugged it in, and put it in their classroom and donated it. And all the other classes are having 8 to 10 kids out with the flu. My kids' classes are fine. So there are other options. You don't have to do that, you know? I mean, we also have ceiling tiles. So you can pop out a tile, put it in, then you have a visibility factor too, you know, and people know you've done something.
So, I mean, you actually put it in the air duct?
You do. You cut a little hole right in the side of the ductwork, right before the air handler. It's not considered a permanent fixture.
Right.
You can remove it, simple patch job when you leave. And it's, for a home, it's, you know, I don't like to throw too big of prices out, but it's usually 60 to like 90 cents a square foot. It's not a lot of money. People will buy chemicals in perpetuity, then rethink how we're disinfecting. It's just a reshift.
Let me ask you this, Sarah. Do you put I guess the H2O2, is it right on its side with a little pack, or is it coming?
No, so here, this is what I want you to catch, okay? Go back to chemistry for a minute.
Right.
H2O.
Really?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Just go there for me. H2O,
Right.
water,
Right.
O2, oxygen.
Right.
If we put those together, we're getting H2O2. Truly, we are taking the ambient air and creating highly effective hydrogen peroxide in a gas form. I mean, the guy who invented it is kind of a mad scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they got to be, right?
But it's simple,
It's genius.
yeah.
It's simple.
What about the demand? Do y'all have enough pieces made already, or can you get them out quickly?
Oh yeah, we have a manufacturer in the U.S. that we use. You know, they actually do a lot of other different competing technologies of ours, but nobody has our technology. A lot of stuff out there is white labeled. If you peel back the onion, you'll see, oh, it's the same technology, different brand. Casper Technologies is different than every other technology out there.
Well, how can people look you up and do a little research? Where would they find it?
Absolutely, CasperTech.com. We have great social media following too. We post all of our newest clients and studies and test results on there. We do sell direct commercial. We also have a network of distributors throughout the country. But here in Louisiana, call our office. We're in Mandeville. We are friendly. We like to work with people. We love Big Mike. His daughters are helping us. A lot of people have seen the value in this, and we're excited. You'll see it in Terrebonne Parish.
Yeah, and this is all about, you know, I'm for anything that keeps the masses working,
Yeah.
and it keeps the mom and dads from not having to stay home because the kids all have COVID or the flu. So this works in not only COVID, but the flu and other things.
Oh, yes. So just last year, the White House called on ASHRAE, which is an association of HVAC and engineers, to come up with a standard protocol testing chamber to test respiratory viruses, flu, COVID. So they chose to use a virus called MS2. It's a surrogate for COVID, flu, and other respiratory viruses because it's a little bit harder to kill. So they took this chamber, and Casper was actually the first technology to go in, and they released MS2 into this chamber. And within 7 minutes, we had a 77% reduction, and at 30 minutes, we were over 99%.
Incredible.
Yep.
Sarah, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, I knew your grandfather. I met with him way back
I know, it
when.
makes my heart very happy.
Teddy
here.
Solomon. And thank you. Good luck with your product.
Thank you, sir.
And let us know how it works out.
You'll be hearing from us.
All right. There
Thank
you have
you.
it. All right.
Okay.
We'll take a short break here on Bayou Time. We have a lot more guests lined up, so don't go away.